This is the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with your host, Vicki Davis.
Jennifer Womble is a nationally recognized leader in education and technology. She is known for curating high-impact professional learning experiences as conference chair for the Future of Education Technology Conference since 2010. And I'm really excited to be going to that conference and speaking in January 2026 in Orlando. Jennifer is a former national board certified teacher with 17 years in the classroom. And I have learned in our pre-show conversation, an amazing AP psychology teacher with an incredibly high pass rate. She blends her passion for innovation with a deep commitment to empowering educators. She's an EdTech top influencer, and she is a driving force behind connecting educators to tools, inspiration, and vision that shape the future of learning. Jennifer, thanks for coming on the show.
I'm super glad to be here and we can explore it together because I think that's the driving question that's on a lot of people's minds, both parents and teachers and students, because we have this incredible opportunity to involve education right now with what we're learning about the brain and brain science, what we're learning about artificial intelligence, what we are seeing with different styles of parenting and teaching. So what we thought the future of education might be is definitely something different. And I have really taken aback right now because those children in kindergarten right now will graduate in 2035. That sounds so far away, but there's some interesting demographic data that we know about our country and our world and how there's going to be an increase in the number of adults when they enter into the adulthood and less children. So our populations are changing, the workforce is changing with different roles. So how should education be changing right along with it? That's what I hope we're here to talk about.
It is. And I do want to make one really important point. Sometimes people are like, hey, I can learn everything I need on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. I once had a pastor who said, Vicki, read great books and take great people. When you go to a conference, there is a synergy in that face-to-face environment if you will jump in and if you will go and if you will listen to conversations and meet people that you can't have on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. I think YouTube is great, but face-to-face conferences are an essential part of my personal professional development. And I think that they should continue to be part of those who want to innovate. So while we're talking on radio and TV, I do want to emphasize. So tell us just a little bit about when is FETC? What is your goal for this particular year, 2026 of FETC? And then we're going to jump in and I want to hear some of these statistics you're talking about.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is the cornerstone of my mission is learning is a human skill. It is relational. We're all raised in pedagogy. That which is learned in pleasure is never forgotten. So we want to create an environment at FETC where people are having fun. It is a human experience to learn from another person, to share, and hopefully to scale some of these really great ideas that teachers are doing in classrooms every day. And when they go in the classroom and close the door and make the magic happen, we need those experiences to be shared so that other teachers can learn about them and other administrators can take those back to their districts and really multiply and have that ripple effect. So we're impacting more and more students. So one of the most amazing things about our conference is that human connection, being in a room with people who have your same role or maybe teach your same subject. So we design FETC to be in tracks by role so that people can meet through an orientation and through sessions, people with commonalities so that they can make those instant kind of connections, but also to be inspired by the people that are around them. And teachers are really inspiring. They are creative, they are innovative, and they need a chance to showcase the work that they're doing. And same thing with administrators. One of the most amazing things is a lot of times administrators don't get to show and tell what's happening in their districts. And so it's really fun. This year, actually, we have the most superintendents as lead presenters than we've ever had. There's, I think, 130. And so I am really excited that they are teaming up with their teachers to tell the story of their district. And I think that's something that we're learning, maybe from the marketing world. People are really learning to tell the story of what's happening in their districts and how their changing population is changing how they're teaching and how the technology is helping them leverage different tools to help all kinds of students do amazing work, and then how they're actually tackling a lot of challenges right now. And I think there's
Yeah.
never been a more important time for people in education to be together in the same space and to build community. Connection goes year round. So we try to do that with webinars and continue teaching people year round. But I think it's that human connection that's the most important part of the conference.
So many people are kind of like, I teach AP computer science principles. I'm the only one at my school who teaches it. Finding your people, and that's been such an important part of my own career. And you and I have been doing this for a while. We've seen a lot of change. I mean, we've gone through the Web 2.0, right? Now we're moving into the AI age, whatever number you want to give it. But let's talk about those demographic changes of where we're heading and how we need to be shifting. Because here's the thing, you've got to have some people in schools that are being strategic, right? You've got tactical. What are we going to do this year? When are we going to do these dates? But you have to back up and you have to take the 30,000 foot view and look at kindergartens now and the 30-35. We've got to look at that to know how are we going to shift our resources. So what are those stats that people need to know about?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We often forget that education is the largest economic driver of our nation. So every single career depends on a teacher. And teachers are only 4% of the workforce, but they train 100% of the students, regardless of what format of school you're in, whether you're online, public, private, charter, doesn't matter. We're all teaching children. It's really an amazing thing to think that this powerful and mighty group is really trying to train and help skill the next generation of workforce. That's really one thing that for a while, we've had a lot of industry telling us we need X skills, right? They've talked about durable skills. They've talked about the things that they need in the workforce, customer service, and we need people to be on time, and we need communication skills. Education's been listening, and we've been hearing, here's what they really need in the workforce. At the same time, we're having a revolutionary experience with technology. AI is happening and changing very fast and very rapid, doing different and new skills almost every day. It's hard to keep up with it. So I praise people like you who are keeping us afloat with all of those changes. And so what we have to decide is what are the skills that students need? We've been talking about a portrait of a graduate for a while, but the reality is what are the skills that any human's going to need in the future? Because really can't predict the jobs because they're changing. When you and
Right.
I were in school, the search engine optimizer was not a job choice on the career wheel. When I had biology in high school, they didn't have genetics. So we can't predict that. I think instilling a passion and a love for learning and being aware of how to learn new skills, being adaptable, having these durable skills, empowering students with real curiosity and creativity. And that's a different way of looking at education than saying, is it reading, writing, arithmetic? Really, we are taking a step back. Assessment is really having to take a look at what are we basing grades on right now? Because if I could just look it up on AI, is that knowledge? What is knowledge? And I think there's a lot of superintendents and school boards around this country who are really taking a step back and going, what does it mean to learn? What is the
Wow.
definition of school? What are the expectations when students leave? And it's really hard because change is hard for humans. And so everybody has been through a school system and they expect their child to have those similar experiences. But you can't expect different outcomes by doing something the same way every day. So we're having to really change, and that change is difficult in a large system dealing with a lot of students. And we've put some demands on educators that, to be honest, are beyond human capabilities. We've been expecting teachers to do personalized learning for a long time. And the reality is, to make sure that every student in a classroom is differentiated is nearly impossible with the amount of differentiation that's needed now between not just learning differences, but student voice differences and interest differences. So if there are some of these AI tools that can actually really personalize learning in a way that meets the needs of students, that helps them to show competencies, maybe in new ways that we haven't done before, and helps them have more time to learn those human durable skills, then maybe we need to restructure our school day and think about what that could look like. Going off of a bell system is a hard thing in the industry models. It's taking a really hard look at what is the purpose of school and what could help us. I am really encouraged and optimistic because what I'm seeing teachers and students using AI for is to become an assistant. And I never had any assistants when I was teaching. And so the fact you could have a little bit of help or some help is amazing. So I'm hoping that we build on those tools to really make learning more about curiosity and creativity and helping students go deep because we've been going really surface for a while. And I think that's where we've missed the relevancy for students. Maybe this is a chance to re-engage. That's my hope.
One of the most important things that we can say in front of our students is, yesterday I learned, last week I learned,
Yes.
or I went to a conference and I learned, because learning has to be part of their lives and more is caught than taught. And so we want to model and live our lives in a way that people want to emulate. So Jennifer Womble, chairman of FETC, I look forward to seeing you in January, and thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for tuning in to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. Watch the video version of this podcast and catch my new radio and TV show, Cool Cat Teacher Talk, on YouTube and a radio or TV station near you. Join my Cool Cat Teacher Classroom Matters newsletter at coolcatteacher.com/newsletter. Leave a review if you found this helpful. See you later, educator.